Hiya guys, today I've been given a Predator. A Predator is what I would call a tank. Not tank as in 40K, as in everything that flies about the board is a tank. This is what I would call a proper, what we would relate today as being tanks. If you ever lived anywhere where tanks go down the street, this is the sort of thing you would expect to see. This is our Predator. Guys, a Predator is basically a rhino with a big gun on top of it. It's, in this box is pretty much all the rhino sprues. Bog standard Predator comes in at 60 points. It's a cheap vehicle. So here we have the one side of the vehicle, and that's sort of the inside of it that goes together. If you've built any of these vehicles before, you'll know this off by heart. So here you have the side. Here you have the panels for the top, but they're basically rhino bits. You could stick them on eBay and see if you get a pound back for them. You have your tracks here. They're all numbered so that when you're putting them on, you can see the little numbers here, number 7, number 3, number 5. And in the diagram, it shows you whereabouts you put them on. And this here basically is your lights. It goes on the front of your vehicle. All marine vehicles pretty much come with searchlights. I think Blood Angels may have to pay for them, and they're well worth paying for. And the other side here is our little visor bit that goes on the front of the vehicle. It's like extra armour, where the guys look out to see where they're driving their Predator. But for me, Predators should never move. Here's your floor, that's the inside of the vehicle, and basically the bottom of your vehicle. This is your floor. And this is your panel on the inside, and all good panels has a gun. You can't have a... If you're not going to put a gun on the panel, guys, don't build panels. Listen to me, but this is your panel for the inside that goes, I believe, just behind the driver. So behind the driver, they've got a gun, so you better hope nobody can get in the back of the vehicle and hijack them. This is a Predator jacking. Has anybody ever did a Predator jacking, guys? You can tell me. Same again, the other side. This is the one side and the inside for it. Again, exact same thing. Here is your front window together with wipers. Hopefully they've got good blades on them so they can see where they're going. Again, your tracks. This is your back door. A lot of times on a Rhino, that's the back like access area. A lot of times in a Rhino, some of the guys leave these that they can open and close them just for fluff's sake, and then you sort of have to paint the inside of the vehicle. But on a Predator, I would glue this shut, and it would also save you painting the inside of your vehicle, although some of us get very little painting done. This is your hatch on the top that would be goes on the top onto here. These are your little slots. Now you do get in one of the next sprues some of the guys that come up through these slots and whatnot, but if you put certain bits on here, your gun might not be able to face forward. So this is our second big sprue. All in all, that's pretty much what would build you a Rhino. So if we get on to, here's a little extra bits, which always remember your smoke launchers. This your searchlight mounting. I believe these are the mountings for your would they be for your hunter killer missile and for your bolter here. You can upgrade these with hunter killer missiles and bolters. A bolter's 10 points, hunter killer missiles 10 points. I don't see the advantage of a bolter as such, but maybe some of you guys do, but I don't see it. I would rather spend the 10 points on hunter killer missile. Maybe one use, but at least you get a chance. This is just a little bit of one of the dudes that sort of sit up out, but then again, if you're going to put him out, you're going to affect how you move your gun round. Not that it's a huge issue, but gaming wise, somebody could be a bit cheesy about it. This is just your mounting for your hunter killer missile. These are some controls for the guns. These just your hatches all here. And this is sort of your mounting for your hunter killer missile. This is another dude that can stick his head out of a vehicle. But I don't think if I was in a tank, I would be bothering sticking my head out the window. This is the body of the guy that goes on to the other bit over here. These are arms for your bolter guy. And this is just your little like radar antenna type job. And here's heads. You can put different heads onto them, but obviously, as I keep referring back to Space Wolves, if he was a Space Wolf vehicle, he would be getting a very wolfy head put onto him. He wouldn't be getting some bog standard vanilla marine. Now here we come to weapons and other parts. Here first of all, is the side panels where you mount. If you're going to put side sponsons on these guys, here's the stuff you use for your side sponsons. The sponsons aren't the best sponsons. In the new Battle Predator box, you get better built sponsons, you do, but these are the ones that are in this current box. And here's some of your little bits, your little like searchlight type looking things. I'm not sure the exact name for these, but I'm sure somebody can tell us. And here we have our las cannons that can go on as side sponsons, our heavy bolters that can go on as side sponsons, and our las cannon again. They just clip together. And you have your side sponsons. The sponsons come in at 25 points for the heavy bolters, but I very rarely see the heavy bolters, but I might actually stick bolters on this one for a change, because no, I'll stick the las cannons on, guys, because I think we have one to set already with the bolter sponsons. Either way, I'll do it the opposite way round to the one we have. And here we have our actual turret that makes this boy a tank. This turret fits onto our other top mounting. 2 seconds, I'll hold it out of my... This turret fits onto this jobby, as far as I remember. And you build your turret, basically is in 2 pieces here. This is the classic thing that I say, this is a tank, because it gets a turret. Here's some of your other fittings that goes round it here. Your little bit for the top, although you could stick one of the other guys with his head out, looking out to get a good view. But again, if I'm in a tank, it's only fluff wise you would have a guy looking out. A tiny little piece of track. Now, I've never seen this box before, so I'm not exactly sure what that one little piece of track is for. It's maybe just a spare piece of track. Again, a little hatch to go on this. And here we have our auto cannon. Not a huge fan of auto cannons, guys. I don't really see the point of them. And here's our las cannon, but at 45 points for twin link las cannon, it is expensive. You know, there is an argument for having the auto cannon on it, but that's basically everything in the box except for our instructions. As usual, French, English, Spanish, German, Italian. Some of our comrades may use the tank to go forward, and some of our comrades may use the tank to retreat, but we cannot criticize any of our European brethren. And last, and as per usual, we get our transfer sheets here, and here we have a Wolfie transfer sheet. I have so many of these, it's great. I'm just going to take these and make a huge big poster out of them one day, do something really mad with them. But here we have our Wolfie transfer sheet and our regular Marine transfer sheet that you can stick some transfers on your vehicle. Generally, transfers very rarely see my vehicles, because by the time I've got 3 colours minimum on it, that's it. But I'll get on and I'll get this boy all built, and it's a great job. It's plastic, isn't it, guys? And you'll see me in the second half of the video. Hiya guys, I have just finished building the old Predator, and as you see, I have no hammer with me, so obviously you can tell it's plastic. Here we have it. We'll see if we can line it up on this screen correctly. The Predator, guys, went together, no bother. Basically a Rhino with an extra turret and a couple of side sponsons on it. If you've built any marine stuff, you've built any vehicles, you're almost definitely to have built this basic chassis that they stick all the weapons onto. Predator has front armor 13. It's the only real difference from the other vehicles with this sort of chassis. It has side armor 11, I believe, and rear armor 10. Check them out, because yeah, I'm virtually certain it's side armor 11. But here is our Predator. On the Predator, you have lots of weapon options. Well, not lots, but you have some weapon options. It comes with an autocannon. That's, guys, does anybody out there use autocannons? I don't see a huge amount of use for them, because I think it's not that they're a terrible weapon, but I think there's better options out there at reasonable sort of points. Here you sort of have to upgrade to a twin link las cannon. I don't see any. I was considering building this with an autocannon and putting sponson las cannons on the side, but I don't see the autocannon as being a huge amount of use. I know it's 40 points 45 points for the twin link las cannon, and it's 60 points for the side sponson ones. A cheap little vehicle coming in at 60 points with an auto cannon, but basically paying 60 points to get a single auto cannon, to 165 points just with these weapons. There is other upgrades. You can give it side sponson bolters that are 25 points. Don't see the point. Heavy bolters, don't see the point in them really. You know, we have one on set built here with heavy bolters. They don't have the range. They have 36-inch range, but basically this is a tank killing tank. That's pretty much what it is. It's the way I see it. Las cannons all the way. They have the range. This is a vehicle that's basically built for las cannons. The cheaper options I see as being pointless. Here it's got las cannons on both sides. Both sponsons have the las cannons. I believe the Battle Predator has slightly better sponsons, but these ones are fine. You just have to watch when you're gluing your little bit on the top here, that you don't glue the sponson that it's stuck facing the one direction. It's not a huge disadvantage if it does end up stuck facing the one direction. I wouldn't break it off just for that. And I obviously stuck a twin link las cannon on the top. You do get the different options. You can put a wee guy poking his head out here, and you can put the storm bolter on there. You can get pretty much the other standard marine vehicle upgrades, as in dozer blades for 5 points, a hunter killer missile for 10 points, a storm bolter for 10 points, and extra armor. But I don't see the point of having extra armor in one of these things unless you're getting assaulted. And the way I would deploy these, you should never really be getting assaulted. They should be totally out of the combat side of the action. I know sometimes guys can like heroic intervention and things like that there, but for me, once you place this boy on the board, he should never move. He should just sit there in the one spot, you know, rotating on the spot, maybe for his line of sight, but he should never move. The building, fine. The value of the vehicle, it's all right. I see some of the guys using it. I wouldn't downgrade this. I wouldn't say anything terrible about this vehicle, apart from 165 points for 2 regular las cannons and a twin link las cannon. I don't think I would bother giving any of the other upgrades. Dozer blades, for me, it should never move, so it shouldn't have to have dozer blades. Hunter killer missile is an option, but at 10 points for a single shot, you know, if you start giving that to a lot of vehicles, it becomes an entire other vehicle. You could have the extra armor, no. Storm bolter, definitely not at 10 points. I stuck, back to the vehicle then, I stuck our smoke launchers on, classic. I stuck the little light on facing the rear because it has some lights at the front, so I think sometimes that's a nice little option. It is, and pretty much goes together handy enough. For use wise, I would say it's a solid enough vehicle. It's not a devastating vehicle, but it's a nice little model. Goes together well, no complaints. You know, standard chassis, everybody has built it. Goes together easy enough, and the 3 las cannons firing at a turn can be pretty painful on you. You know, if you hit, you know, your odds is you're going to hit with at least 2 of them. You know, maybe even 3 each turn with having the twin link one on top. So yeah, guys, a good vehicle. It's not a terrible vehicle to build, and I don't know. You may even see one of my Space Wolf army one of these days. I might even start painting this blue. But guys, all in all, not a bad job really. So I'll get on and I'll get to building another vehicle, and you can tell me what you think of a Predator.